Most people don't fail at relationships after divorce because they picked the wrong person. They fail because they weren't ready in the first place. And the hard part, most people don't even realize it until they're already in it again. Hey, y'all, welcome back to Find the Joy with Jen. I'm really glad you're here today because this is a question that I get all the time. And I mean all the time. How do I know when I'm ready for another relationship after divorce? And let's just be honest right out of the gate, friends. Most people do not ask this question soon enough. Or they ask it, but they don't really want the honest answer. Because if you're anything like I was, there's this pull, this desire to not feel alone anymore, to be chosen again, to feel wanted again, to feel safe again. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like this is what God intended. He made us this way. He created us with that desire to be united and share our lives with another person. Those are real human desires that God has given us. But here's the truth. Jumping into a relationship too soon doesn't heal the pain. It often just transfers it. It feels better for a minute and it feels exciting. It feels like maybe you're moving forward, but the foundation isn't there, so it doesn't last. So today, I want to walk you through exactly how you can know when you're ready, and more importantly, how to get ready to date after divorce. Because readiness isn't something you wait around for, it is something you create, my friends. But before we jump in, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my future episodes. Because if you're going through divorce, I am here to help you not just survive this, but to actually grow better in the process. And I have to tell you about my brand new Find the Joy app, which you can access right through my website, findthejoywithjen.com. Inside the app, you will find exclusive content, discounts on courses and programs, and a daily inspirational message from me to help you stay grounded during these difficult times, my friend. One of my favorite features is you can submit a question about your divorce situation, and I will personally respond to it to help guide you through it. So make sure you download the app today. So let's get into it. Before you even think about dating again, we have to talk about healing. And I don't mean just staying busy, trying not to think about it, distracting yourself with work or kids or even your church calling. Real healing. Because divorce leaves wounds, deep wounds, rejection, betrayal, disappointment, confusion, anger, and sometimes all of those hit at once. And here's what I see all the time. People start dating again because they're tired of feeling those heavy, painful emotions. They don't want to sit with those anymore. They want relief. But when you date from that place, you're not choosing someone because they're right for you. You're choosing them because you want to make the pain go away. And that is a very different thing, my friends, because those wounds don't just disappear. They follow you. They show up in your next relationship as trust issues. They show up as overthinking every text message. They show up as a fear of being betrayed or abandoned again. They show up as needing constant reassurance or shutting down the moment something feels off. And then you find yourself thinking, why is this happening again? But it's not happening to you. It is happening through what hasn't been healed yet. I remember a point in my own healing journey where I thought, okay, I'm ready. I want to move on. But if I'm being honest, I just didn't want to feel that pain, that emptiness, the loneliness anymore. And that is not the same thing as being ready. Healing looks different. Healing looks like being able to think about your past without it completely taking you out. It looks like not needing someone else's attention to feel okay. It looks like emotional steadiness rather than constant highs and lows, depending on how someone else is treating you. It doesn't mean you never get triggered, but it does mean you're aware of it and you know how to handle it when you are triggered. You're no longer reacting to your wounds. You are responding from who you have become now. You're no longer bleeding on people all around you who didn't cut you. And that's when you know real healing is happening. Now, let's talk about something that I believe is absolutely essential: getting spiritually grounded. Because divorce doesn't just shake your relationship, it can shake your faith. And I understand this so well. You might start questioning everything: your worth, your identity, your covenants, your relationship with God. You might sit in church feeling completely isolated and alone. You may even go to the temple and feel completely disconnected. You might wonder how your life ended up here. I know I did. And if that spiritual foundation feels unstable, you're going to look for someone else to stabilize it for you. And that's a lot of pressure to put on another person. No relationship can carry that weight. This is where your relationship with the Lord becomes everything. This is where you reconnect, where you rebuild. This is where you remember who you are, not as someone's ex, not as someone who failed at marriage, but as a son or daughter of God, whole, worthy, and loved. And when that becomes your foundation, everything else shifts. You're not dating out of fear or desperation. You're not trying to fill a spiritual or emotional gap in your life. You are anchored. You are steady. You're at peace. And now, instead of looking for someone to complete you, you're inviting someone into a life that's already full. I have seen this over and over again with my clients. When they get spiritually grounded first, their standards change, their confidence changes, and what they're willing to accept also changes because they're no longer operating from fear. They're operating from faith. All right, this next one, most people skip it or they rush through it or they make it all about their ex. But this might be the most important step of all. You have got to take a deep, honest look at your previous marriage. I call it doing a deep dive or even an autopsy on your marriage. Yeah, it sounds intense, and that's because it's supposed to be. Because we're not just skimming the surface here, we are digging deep. And here's the key: this is not about blaming your ex. You already know what they did wrong, friend. This is about understanding yourself. What worked in that relationship and what didn't work? Where did things start to shift? Where did communication break down? Where did you tolerate what you shouldn't have? Where did you lose your voice? Where did you ignore red flags, even when you felt them? And here's the part that takes real courage. What role did you play? Now, let me be very clear. Taking ownership does not mean taking blame for things that weren't yours. If there was betrayal, abuse, or things outside of your control, that is not on you. But there are always places where you give up your power, where you stayed silent, where you compromised your values, where you didn't set boundaries. And those are things we can learn from because that's where real growth happens. If you skip this step, you are very likely going to repeat the same patterns in your next relationship with a different person. It'll be a different face, but the same outcome. And I know that is not what you want, my friends. This is where I teach my clients something really important. Take all the good, glean those jewels, those valuable lessons that are uniquely yours from your previous marriage, and leave behind everything that you don't want to repeat. What did you love about your marriage? Keep those things. What kind of connection did you value? Keep that. What didn't serve you? Let it go. What patterns were harmful that caused hurt? Leave them behind. This is where you refine your standards. This is where you experience real growth, my friends. This is where you become someone who doesn't just hope for a better relationship, but is actually prepared for one. Now, let's talk about where you're going because healing isn't just about looking back, it is about looking forward. What do you actually want your life to look like? Not just in a relationship, but as a whole. Your lifestyle, your goals, your priorities, your values. Because here's the truth, if you don't have a clear vision for the life that you want, you will attach yourself to someone else's. And that's how people end up losing themselves all over again. You want to build a life you genuinely enjoy, one that feels aligned, where you wake up and think, I love my life exactly the way that it is. And I want you to really sit with that for a second because a lot of people do not feel that after divorce. They feel like something is missing. But when you do this work and you start to rebuild from the ground up, you create stability for yourself. You feel peace again. And then something really powerful happens. You don't need a relationship to complete you or make you feel okay anymore. You may want one, but you do not need one. And that is a completely different place to date from. Now, when you meet someone new, you're not asking, can you make me happy? You're asking, do you align with the life that I'm building? That is a powerful shift, my friends. So start getting specific with your goals, your vision, your plan for your future life. What kind of relationship do you want? What values matter to you most? What are your non negotiables? What kind of partner do you want to be? What kind of partner are you looking for? Because the cleaner you are, the easier it is to recognize what's right and what is not. So, how do you really know when you're ready? You're ready when you have done the healing work, when you are spiritually grounded, when you have learned all that you can from your past, and you have built a life that you actually love. Here's the best part. You're not desperate anymore. You're not rushing, and you're not trying to fill a void. You're not ignoring red flags just to make something work. You're open, but you're steady and intentional. You're looking for someone who has done this same work in their own life. And that is the sweet spot, my friends. That's where healthy relationships are built, not from two people trying to fix each other, but from two people who are already doing their own work. If you're listening to this and thinking, okay, I'm not there yet, but I really want to be, that's okay because now you know what to focus on. And that is powerful because so many people are just guessing and they're ending up in the same place over and over again. And you don't have to do that, my friend. You don't have to do this alone. This is exactly what I do inside my program, Faith Filled Divorce. We walk through healing emotional wounds, strengthening your relationship with the Lord, and doing that deep inner work and creating a vision for your future that actually feels good and aligned with who you are and the life that you want to create in your future. So that when you do step into another relationship, you are ready for something better, not just different, way better. If you want help with that, I would love to support you. So check out the link in the description or head to my website, Find the Joy with Jen. Hey friend, if this episode has resonated with you, make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any future episodes. And I would love to hear from you. Where are you in this process right now? Drop it in the comments because you are not alone in this. And if you want help taking that next right step in your life, I've created something just for you. Download my free Find the Joy app at findthejoywithjen.com. Inside the app, you will get exclusive content, tools to help you move forward, and a place where you can get help in your life and ask me any question you like. I will personally help guide you. All right, y'all, keep doing this work. Keep choosing growth. And as always, keep finding the joy. Thank you for being here, Joy Seekers. It is still possible for you to find joy in your divorce journey, and I can help you find it. Bye, y'all.